King Kevin.
Heavenly year? You said a heavenly year?
A hell of a year so far. I'm sorry, I was in a fire. I was in a fire.
Bless your heart.
Oh, you used the actual fire?
Yeah, in my room, I put it out, and I didn't think to call the fire department.
Well, praise God you're alive. You know, so instead of saying hell, I used to say heaven. So when I say it's been a hell of a day, I say it's been a heaven of a day. Or, you know, get the hell out of here, I'll say get the heaven out of here.
Okay.
And so, it's just a different mindset thing, you know.
Yes.
I talk about that in the
It was
Win in
a
the
heaven
Mirror.
of a fire.
As you all know, my name is Brother King, government name King Kevin Dorival. And I'm a mentor and author, filmmaker. You know, we're February 1st, so glad you guys made it to the new year. Well,
Black
to
History
the new
Month.
month. Well, actually, Black History Month is every month in my book, literally. So, but yeah, definitely Black History Month. I actually have an event coming up on February 22nd as well, in partnership with the City of Atlanta and Fulton County Library System at the Metropolitan Library at 2 o'clock from 2 to 4. It's called the Black History Presentation, Black Authors That Paved the Way. So it's gonna be fire. I did it before when I was in Florida. But before I go into that, I have my brother Josh. He's gonna give an introduction, and then I'm gonna proceed with the program. Okay? So, brother Josh.
Yes, sir.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
How y'all doing today? Y'all doing good? All right, well, my name is Joshua Smith, so a local community service around here, so I work in the community with the homeless and also mentoring little kids too. So, well, with Brother King, Kevin Dorival is an entrepreneur. 2018, he accomplished his first film and documentary titled Book, Stage Play, and wrote his second non-fiction book, 7 Types of Queens, King's Desire, which compare and contrast the ancient queens with women of today. In 2020, a romance comedy movie based on 7 types of women, 7 types of queens, was released nationwide and God's Willing International. The point of having faith is for you to not, point of having faith if you're not using it to apply in your life. Now, he graduated from Florida State University, Florida Atlantic University, which he received his bachelor's degree in political science. And he is on his downtime. He enjoyed his family time, volunteering in urban communities, reading stories about historic African leaders, especially the ones of ancient past. A group of mentors assisted him hosting the CUB Chess Club and mentoring program and the annual Black on Black Crime Solution Panel.
Oh, thank you.
And that's everything in a nutshell about my brother King right here. So thank you.
Thanks, brother Josh.
Always.
Yes. One of the sentences that he said, I want to reemphasize that. What's the point of having faith if you're not going to use it? Now, you know.
What's the point of having what?
What's the point of having faith if you're not going to use it now? So that was a quote that he was saying in there. And my life has been nothing but faith. I've been able to overcome quite a bit of adversity. That's how I started writing my first book. But before I get to all of that, I wanted to give a shout out and special thanks to you all for being here today. You know, this Saturday, you made it here safely. Obviously, you ran through the fire, you know, and you're here today. Also, I did thank the Shrine of the Black Madonna. You know, they showed me love ever since I came to Atlanta. You know, Mrs. Amanika back there working hard as usual. Mrs. Amanika, the wave. So definitely support this museum. They also have the church. Church service starts here tomorrow at 11 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. That's right. To the Shrine of the Black Madonna, and they were closed. I'm saying, oh man, just my luck. Because a friend of mine was telling me, hey, you need to come to this spot. Like, trust me, Kevin, they had your name all over it. So I came, and they were closed, and I tried to come in again when I moved here, and they were closed again. I said, wow, okay, this is my luck. And I closed, so maybe next time I'll come when they're actually open. Right. So I looked at their schedule and I wrote it down, and I came the third time. But this time it was actually on Marcus Garvey Day on August 17th, which they were having at the Wren's Nest. There was an event. I think it's this way, the Wren's Nest. Yeah. So I was one of the speakers there, and so before I went there, I said, let me stop by and see if I can catch, the shrine open. So I did catch it open. And I met Mrs. Albanica. You know, she gave me a hug and showed me a lot of love. And I told her who I was and showed her my books. And she said, if you'd like to submit your book, you know, to be sold here, you know, go ahead and do it. So I went and did that. And I left, tried to get in my car, and my door is locked, and I don't have my keys. So my keys were locked in the car. So I can't make it to the, you know, Marcus Garvey Day celebration, which I so badly wanted. I was dressed real nice too. I really was. It was a black shirt, black dress shirt, black pants, black shoes, and a dashiki tie. You know, and with the dashiki cloth, kente cloth. Was it kente tie? I guess that's what you say. And now it's raining. So I'm like, wow. So I'm trying to get in the car. There's a woman that lives next door to the parking lot here in the back. So she saw me trying to go into the car, so she thought I was trying to break in. She said, no, he's dressed too nice to be trying to break into a car. So it must be his car. So she asked me, you know, is there any way that she can help? And I was like, well, do you have a hanger, an iron hanger? So I tried to use the hanger, and that wouldn't work. So she said, I have a friend that just left. Let me call him back. He has a tow truck. So now he comes in, and I'm thinking, okay, he's going to charge me $50, $60 to open the car. But he actually did it for free, you know, and I think he needs a couple of chairs. So he went and hooked up the car, searched through the car, in and out, you know, everywhere, every inch, square inch of the car. The key's not there. And I'm like, man, like what is it about the Shrine of the Black Madonna that every time I come here, I'm having issues? You know, I can't get in, can't find my keys, right? So Miss Almanika and her staff, they were looking everywhere, looking for the keys. I must have came back and forth maybe 3 times. So by the 4th time, like, you know what, I'm just gonna catch an Uber and, you know, head to the event, because that was the main goal. And all my books were in the car. And when I came in and I'm leaving, someone had said, hey, did anybody lost a key? And so I didn't even look at them. I was like, thank God. Grabbed the keys, went on and did my thing, and it was a beautiful event, great day. So ever since then, Mrs. Almanika, you know, she always reminds me of that story. So that's how she remembers me, you know. So besides that, definitely like to give thanks to Brother Joshua here. He has a clothing line. How you say it? Siskawi?
Sisikawa.
Sisikawa Sports Apparel. SisikawaSportsApparel.com. You get his website. He has his own clothing line, which I think is phenomenal. He helped me when we had our 5th annual Black on Black Crime Solutions panel here in Atlanta. Normally it started in Fort Lauderdale, Miami. The first 4, the 5th one we did it here at the Beloved Community Church with Dr. Slaughter. So shout out to Dr. Slaughter, showed me a lot of love. So this year's gonna be our 6th one. So we actually in the planning phase of it right now. So he came and volunteered just out the blue, called me and said, hey brother, do you need any help? And I was like, of course, you know, so that's the kind of heart he has. So it got much love for him. So support me the kind of way you can. Get the website later. And also Queen Darlene Stewart, she has beautiful artwork here, as you can see. We're not selling them here because, but she does have a website, which is stuart.ecwid.com. And also, what's your Instagram, Joshua?
Sisikawa, SIKAWA Sports Apparel.
Okay, perfect. And Darlene's on is Heart of Stuart, HERTHEARTOFSTUART. And of course, my Facebook, Instagram is Courage to Believe. That's Courage, number 2, Believe. And moving forward, if you guys have any questions, please ask. You know, you can raise your hand, stop me at any time. I did have notepads, but don't worry about it. And so that's about it. And also, just for the people watching online, do not get my book on Amazon, okay? Go to Amazon, get the reviews, right? The reviews, I have phenomenal reviews for both books, The Courage to Believe and 7 Types of Queen Desire. Actually, this is a hardcover. This is a limited edition. I'm not just saying it to make it sound good, but it is, because it's very expensive. I mean, for a book anyway, it's like $28. The difference between the paperback and hardcover is that the hardcover is in color. So everything, all pictures and the chapter titles are in color. And I only have 3 of these made It just came in yesterday, fresh off the press.
Did you say 3?
3 hardcovers, but I have 20 paperbacks, so I have more than enough paperback. But these are really, I actually should keep one for myself. I should have kept the first one.
That's a hard sell, isn't it?
Just keep one.
Who's gonna buy them?
I mean, a few people has bought them. Actually, usually drug dealers have bought them for their girls. So they're like, some homeboys from back home, like they all bought them. That's all they bought with the hardcovers. Really, they probably the only ones who did buy the hardcovers.
So there are only 3 left?
As of now.
Okay.
As of now. They're exclusive. Trust me, they're going to be worth millions of dollars one day.
Okay.
Hey, speak it to existence.
Now's your time to get in.
Hey, you better get it, you know. Paperbacks are 16, and these are $12.95. This is my inspirational autobiography, The Courage to Believe, which started everything. But I'm going to get into that. But before I do, I need to share a story of a movie that I had watched. And so I want you to picture this. If it helps you, close your eyes to picture it or keep your eyes open. But let me share the story. It's about a writer, a movie actually. So in this movie, there's this black enslaved African. I don't call, the media calls our people that were on plantation slaves, but they were enslaved. That's a big difference. So he's on the plantation. He falls in love with another enslaved, beautiful African woman, and she was educated as well as he was. They were self-educated. They taught themselves how to read. So he was writing her letters, and she was writing him letters. It was going back and forth for a while. Their courtship, of course, had to be kept secret, from the slave masters and from the other enslaved Africans. And so one day, he goes to his, I guess you would call it, home, and the slave master was there with the overseer, and they were digging through his bed, the mat was on the floor, and digging into the ground. The mats that was on the ground, the wood that was placed on the floor, looking for some letters, because someone snitched and told the overseer that this brother had some letters, right? How's it going, Steve? Yes, and so the slave master was asking him, where are the letters that we heard about that you have? And he wouldn't tell them, so they started beating him up, to find out where the letters were, because he wasn't supposed to be able to read or write, let alone have paper and pen or pencil. And so, even though he was being tortured, he still wasn't given that information until one of the other enslaved Africans was like, they knew about the secret letters, and so to save his life, they told the overseer and the slave master where were the letters. And so now they're trying to find out which one of the females on the neighboring plantations that he was writing these letters to. And so the story kind of ended like that. Now, this story I just told you wasn't actually a movie. It was actually a dream that I had some years ago. And it's one of the more profound dreams that I ever had. One, because I still remember it. We dream every day, whether or not you know it or not. And so I was just surprised the fact that I still remember the dream, and it just seemed so real. So, I prayed about it, and I came to the conclusion that my ancestors were speaking to me, that you must continue writing. I had this dream about 10 years ago, actually right after I wrote this book, because I thought after writing this book, that's all I'm going to do, just write one book and I'm through with it. But I came to an understanding that as an author, a black author, and the fact that you guys are here, celebrating me as a black author, we need to support our black men who are doing positive things, because a lot of us are giving up. I was volunteering a few months ago. I forget the church name, but it's in the Cleveland area, not Cleveland, Pittsburgh area of Atlanta. Volunteering at this breakfast program that the church was having, the Rock Church of Atlanta was having, with some other churches. And the whole line of the people coming to get the food were men, black men. So when I seen that, it's like something in me just shrunk. I'm supposed to have like a positive attitude, but I looked at it as if that could be me. If it wasn't for Miss White, my 5th grade teacher, who helped me believe in myself, it wasn't for my mom, if it wasn't for some of the teachers, the principals, or whatever that were investing, even the men in the community, or the father figures in my life. I wasn't raised by my father, but that believed in me, encouraging me and my brothers and sisters, I could have ended like one of these guys. So it's imperative to support our black men. There's a lot of great programs for black women. young black girls, which is great. Trust me, I love my queens. But we can't forget the black men, because if we don't have our men, then who's going to protect and provide, the homes? Who's going to protect the communities or protect your emotions as a woman? So men are important as well, and right, so I just wanted to get that tidbit. So that's why I kept writing. So with this book here, as you can see, there's a line on the front cover, but also what you probably can't see because, from a distance, there's a forest in the face of the line. And so that forest represents me being lost, right? And the lion represents being, having courage. And so I found my way through the forest, having faith and having vision. So this book is an inspirational autobiography about how God helped me overcome adversity. From graduating college, first one in my family to do it. My mom, my father both come from Haiti, Cap Haitian, or Cap Haitien, which is northern part of Haiti. It's a very popular place in Haiti because the last battle was fought during the Haitian Revolution in that area. As a matter of fact, my great-grandfather, not great-grandfather, but my grandfather, he was actually a judge and also top of security for Papa Doc. And for some reason, he left, but I never had a chance to talk to him. I just know that story through my family that he was one of the top chief of security, actually. And so, but he was a very, man of honor. I remember when I was writing this book, I was asking my mom and my grandma, like, why is it that I feel like I'm a king or someone important? Like, who was it in my family that, did something great? Like, why do I feel this way, And a lot of us, we have this void in us because we don't know who we are, And in the Haitian community, a lot of that information is kept secret, for many reasons. I don't know. But come to find out, my grandfather was someone very important. And so I take a lot of honor and pride into that. So the first chapter of this book is called The Royal Bloodline, which talks about the Haitian Revolution. Many people don't know about that, but I'm beginning to see much more of conversations by non-Haitians about the Haitian Revolution. If you, and I'm glad I said that, if you've ever been in a Black History program or gone to one, and they're not talking about the Haitian Revolution, it is a whitewash program. The Haitian, I always said that even if I wasn't Haitian, because actually I tell people that I'm African Haitian, but even if I wasn't Haitian, but me knowing the significance of that battle and how they defeated all odds, like, they weren't even supposed to win that. And that's in that battle, beating the French and Napoleon Bonaparte, who was considered the greatest military strategist of all time, by the Haitian soldiers beating him, General Toussaint Louverture. That means, in essence, Toussaint is the greatest military strategist of all time, because that was a superpower. You understand? So I go into detail about that in the first chapter and a few other things as well. What other story you guys would like to hear? Yes.
Have you read Edwidge Danticot's Breath, Eyes, Memory?
I haven't read it.
Because that's about the Haitian Revolution.
I heard about it. I haven't read it. I haven't met her. Like
I've met her.
You did? Mm-hmm. I was supposed to meet her back in 2012. I was a guest panelist at the Haitian Museum in downtown Miami, and she was supposed to be on that panel, but she didn't make it for whatever reason. So I was so looking forward to meeting her. Because I heard about so many things about her, and worldwide, she's major.
Well, in Beloved, the movie Beloved, she's in that scene at the end where they're holding up the cross.
Really?
I think she's holding up the cross.
Okay.
In the film.
In the film.
And she met Oprah and gave her a copy of Breath, Eyes, Memory, and she made that one of her book club selections.
So that's how she got on Oprah.
That's how she got on Oprah.
That's what's up. Okay. Yeah. Edwidge is very, very big time. Let me share another story. If you have like young children or young adults, this is a perfect book for them. I struggled a lot with confidence, and in the 5th grade, I had a teacher named Miss Weich. Right? Miss Weich was a black woman. She used to be in the Army, a retired Army vet, married with one child at the time. But she was a very stern woman, right? So I had a big speech impediment problem. You can't tell that now for the most part, but that hindered my confidence, quite a bit. But she seen that I had something special about me, so she stayed on me. Like, this was one of the teachers that would come to your house You know, she'll come to your house, and I live in the project, so there's maybe, I want to say 5 to 7 students live in the project. So coming to our project, she made many visits to see if we were doing our homework, to speak to our parents if the parents were home, and to give us encouragement. If you had any questions about the homework, she gathered us together. I mean, she was real like that. And I remember one time vividly, and I talk about that, Courage to Believe. It's called the Courage to Believe, Never Give Up, Keep Moving Forward. We didn't have any power at our house. The lights were turned off, which was, you know, it happened quite a bit. Either the water or the light was turned off. It was rare that, you know, 3-4 months, both were on consecutively, right? You know what I'm saying? It's not that type of situation. Sometimes went on without a meal. So definitely came from humble beginnings. But there's one instance where the lights were off, and I had a homework assignment to do, and I didn't do it. And so she asked me, why didn't you do your homework? And I explained the situation. And she asked me this one question I'll never forget. Did you have street lights? So, which means that no excuses, make it happen. You know what I mean? But she didn't do it in a mean way, but, you know, that's pretty much the essence. You know, she set the tone for my life to make it happen. And so when I graduated, you know, from the 5th grade, which was many years ago, and by the way, this is, well, I was going to say, well, I got 6 more days in my 30s until I'm not in my 30s anymore, right? So that was a very long time. My birthday is February 7th.
All right.
And you'll be Friday.
40. Right. So this is like one of the last few days.
Butterfly. Congratulations. That's right. Congratulations. That's right.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's right. You're going to come into 40 well, darling.
I appreciate it.
This is year 4, so you will be 4.
Yeah. Well, it's all good. I mean, I'm embracing it. You know, I love
This is a leap year too.
Yes, it is.
it. It is. Okay.
So
It is.
anybody born? Because I want to meet somebody born on February 29th.
29th.
Yeah, I want to know how old they think they are.
My cousin's birthday is either the 29th or the 28th.
Find
Well,
out.
the
'cause
28th is
I
going to
wanna
come
be-
every year, but that 29th, yeah.
Okay.
It's only
Mm-hmm.
what, every 4 years?
Oh wow. Well, I'll be on the lookout for you.
I want to meet somebody on the who was born on the 29th.
Well, you're speaking, it's gonna happen. And so with Ms. White, she made such a profound impact on my life, a positive impact, that, you know, I always said that one day I'm gonna give back to her somehow, some way. I wasn't sure how. As a matter of fact, I spoke it for like maybe 15 years. So when I released this book, before I released it, I was talking to my editor, and who was a friend as well, and she asked me, you know, I was telling her, man, I wish I could find Ms. White to invite her to the program. She said, if you couldn't find her, the media would eat that up, and they will cover your story, because they don't, you know, they don't hear stories like that. So what I did was I went through Facebook, went through the school system, but the school system wouldn't give me her information, of course, for privacy reasons. But then I said, let me go to Facebook. And I knew she had a son, but I didn't know she had a daughter. The son, she had issues with her son. He was not trying to give me any information at all. But he did say, I do have a sister. So I looked up, I found the sister, and the sister was the key to everything. So she relayed the message to her mom, and you know, the woman, she called me one day while I was at work. She didn't say her name. She said, hey, I heard you looking for me. Just give me a call, something like that. But I didn't know who it was, because I thought it was, you know, a shout in heaven that I was going to find her. You notice I said So she called me. We set it up. Sun Sentinel, which is the major newspaper down in Florida, South Florida, they got the wind of the story. They immediately called me to see if we can, you know, cover something. And it's hard to get the media to cover a story, you know. So they did that. They did the interview. How's it going, Brother Jacques? He's a further author as well. So they came. They did the story. They did a front cover story about it. The title was 20 Years Later, Student Tells Teacher Thank You. And so they got me into all kinds of systems, all kinds of schools. Actually, I did a stage play with the book signing at the same time. You know, which I never wrote a stage play before, never been in the play, well, other than, you know, elementary school. But the beauty of it was that when God put that on my spirit, I was like, a stage play? Yeah, right. Like, you know, who I know that, you know, can help me with a stage play. I've never done anything like that. But see, I was being challenged, and I took on that challenge because, you know, a lot of people, when you have an assignment or something that you want to do, we often have more excuses of why we can't do it and can't find that one reason why we can. So the one reason why I could was because I did happen to have a friend who was a stage play writer. And so I started thinking, using my brain power, who can I use to help me, put this together? So I gave her a call. She came. We had a meeting. She told me what I would need. You're going to need X amount of kids if you want to try to do your elementary story. You're going to need a couple of adults for the jail scene, which I ended up going to jail for about 10 months, for, let's say, a money crime. And, but it taught me a lot. That's even depicted in there's a chapter called The Lion's Den. So I'm going to, go back to that in a minute, to the stage play in a minute. But long story short, I was able to get Miss White, get her to come to the stage play, and present her a dozen roses at the stage play. And as a matter of fact, I had so much favor with the event. There was the assistant state attorney who happened to be Haitian. Her name was Miss Toussaint. I can't remember her first name, but her name was Miss Toussaint. And this was the end of the year, end of 2012, very end, right before New Year's. So most of everyone is not in the office. And so I seen her on a program on television one time. And, I wrote down everybody's name. So anybody who's looking to connect with some big time people, get their names when you see them on television or radio. And I gave her, I called a number that I found, using Google. And she picked up. She said, "Boy, you must be blessed." Because first of all, I never answer the phones. My staff always does it, but to give my staff a break, I sent them all home so I could just be in the office by myself and, while they enjoy their families. And so I called her. She said, "Well, send me the information. First of all, I emailed her. She said, "I got your email, but I want you to change your email a little bit, add the picture, actually on the email, and then resend it to me. I'm going to forward it to some friends." So she was able to get the Island TV there to come cover the stage play. And then a couple other newspaper companies was there. I mean, it was just beautiful. It was a blessing for everybody. So I was able to get my nieces and nephews to be in the stage play, which was pretty cool. My oldest two nephews, actually the oldest one now, he's 16. His little brother's 15, Devon Mortimer, David Mortimer. The 16 years old is a football star now. He's like 20 full scholarships. Literally, probably more than that. I don't lost count. He's only a junior in high school now. Well, he's not even a junior yet. He's going to be a junior. As a sophomore, he's doing really well. So I'm not the only overachiever in the family, which just takes a little pressure off my shoulders. In fact, he told me that he's gonna get the family straight. But there was a jail scene in the actual stage play to represent the Lion's Den, and that stage play it's about a phase in my life where I was, locked up and just trying to find myself. Remember, I told you I was lost in the forest. And so I realized in retrospect, and actually while I was there as well, but even more when I, was free and was like, you know what, I gotta do X, Y, Z if I'm gonna, make things better or the way I see myself. And I realized that God wanted me to be there to witness what was happening to our black men. Like, I didn't realize so many of our young men are heavy on drugs. I'm talking about like PCP, heroin, smoking crack, young, like, 15, 16, Molly. Molly wasn't popular at that time, but definitely codeine, heroin, heavy drugs. It was hundreds of them. And another thing I realized that 85%, if not more, were all black. Very small percentage of white folks were in there. And so I'm looking at all this, and I'm analyzing it, and I realize that, wow, we really are just a number, and we're not here to succeed. So we're just in another form of slavery, to be real. You can sit down if you like. No problem. Thanks for coming. And so when I got out, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to college. I'm going to play football, I'm going to graduate, and I'm going to start a business. And I did all those things because I wrote them down. When you write down your dreams, you increase your chances of success by 1,000%. Wow, okay. 1,000%. That pretty much means you guarantee to have the victory. Marcus Garvey once said, without confidence, you are twice defeated, but with confidence, you've already won before you begun. And so I didn't know about Marcus Garvey like that back then. But now that I do, it's like, wow, that's how I was able to make those things manifest, because I wrote them down, I read it a lot, I kept reminding myself, this is what I want to do. So no matter how hard it is, I'm going to stick to this plan. I'm going to succeed. I have to succeed. And so by graduating college was like the biggest achievement of my life, because before my mom passed away, she was able to see me walk across that stage. And that's what she really wanted the most. You know, she probably died 2 years after that. So I was able to, bless her with that. And she's, seen the first 3-4 grandbabies born before, she went on to be in a better place. So, besides the Courage to Believe, I started a Black on Black crime because of what I witnessed when I was locked up. Seeing those things, seeing what was happening, and I know a lot of people don't like that phrase, Black on Black crime, but it is what it is. We are executing each other, at rapid proportions in many black cities across the country, probably almost all of them, unfortunately. So you guys want to help support that movement, definitely, go to my website, email me. We're in the planning phases right now to do it in the fall. We're looking for a high school in Atlanta, Fulton County, so please, if you have any connection or contacts with a Fulton County high school, please let me know, okay?
Is that Fulton County or City of Atlanta?
Anywhere in Fulton County. City of Atlanta is cool as well, definitely. And with the book presentation I have, author presentation I have for Black History Month on the 22nd, I'm going to meet some of the representatives of Atlanta there, so maybe they can put me in with some contacts that they have.
Hard copy sells out. Are you going to make more?
Of course. I might.
You might.
I might. They're limited edition.
I want to get on the
Okay.
order list of the hard copy.
No worries. We'll make that happen. And also, I wanted to let you guys know about Seven Queens. And any questions? Any of you guys heard of my book, Seven Types of Queens, Keen Desire, or probably already have? I know a couple of you already have it
Well,
already.
that's why I came. I want to hear what you say.
Okay. Yes.
Can you show the cover?
Oh yes, this is a huge cover of it.
Okay, look at it.
Yeah. Now, this beautiful cover that you see here, there are several women on this cover. And actually, before I even started writing this book, I was already working on a dating book. But it wasn't until a woman broke my heart that I transferred the direction that I was heading to with the dating book. And it was like, if she's not the queen for me, then what type of woman am I really looking for? So that's how I came up with the title, Seven Types of Queens, Keen Desire. Number 7 is a very special number to me. It's a number of divine completion. The body, the brain, the cells in the body change every 7 years. It's supposed to be 7 layers of heaven. It's all sorts of beautiful things by 7. My birthday, February 7th. Did I say that already?
Yes, you did.
All right. So I said that. But
Okay, where are you going to be on February 7th? So
I have no idea.
You're not
yet.
having a party?
I haven't really thought about it that much, to be honest with you. I'm just happy to be alive every day, But I'm
that's
celebrating.
next Saturday.
Next Friday.
Friday, okay.
I celebrate every day of February, even today. This is a celebration, so this is a form of a birthday celebration. We appreciate it. But what I wanted to also show you guys was that, Michelle Obama, you have Queen Arsette here. She has the Kempton crown there, with the snake on. Whenever you see the cobra on the crown, that means that they were royalty from the north. And when you see they have the hawk on, or it could be a vulture sometimes, that means that they're royalty from the south. All right. So, and also Princess Diana. There's a lot of people have some things to say about that, but I explained why she's there. And also Flojo. There's like 5 rings, 5 gold medals on her hands right there. Flojo still holds the record since 1988 in the 100 meters and the 200 meters. Since 1988. But they don't talk about that. As a matter of fact, I didn't put this in my book because it didn't happen at the time. They're trying to take away her record. Anybody that was in track back in her day, and with the new technology and testing now, they kept trying to accuse her of taking steroids, but could never find it in her system. If you didn't get tested, I think a month or a couple of to a couple of weeks before the event. They're trying to take back everybody's record. So this is her ex-husband. What's his name? Al Joyner. Right. He's trying to fight against that. You know, I read an article about it. So that's actually happening as we speak. So are they going to be successful? I don't know. But it's definitely something that if any way I can help preserve that record, I'll look to do that because it's amazing. Even when Marion Jones was taking steroids, still didn't come close to her record.
Yep.
Like that's impressive.
Right. She
That's
died
impressive.
too soon.
Now let me read you guys something right here about the number 7. The number 7 represents divine connection. It's the number of perfection and divine completion. According to the Bible, God rested on the 7th day. There are 7 seas, 7 continents, and 7 chakras. In Japan, there are 7 lucky gods. The spectrum is divided in 7 colors, and 7 colors make up a rainbow. There are 7 major parts of the heart and brain, and 7 layers to the skin. Our body replaces all cells every 7 years, as I mentioned earlier. The 7th heaven comes from a divine completion. Jesus was said to have made 7 statements before he died on the cross. If the number 7 was important to the Creator, then it should be important to you and I. The 7-Eleven convenience store was founded in 1927, and I was born on February 7th. And so that's how important the number 7 is. Now, why did I have Princess Diana on the cover? That's probably that's all she came to this.
Really, that's why I came.
I'm gonna say a little bit, but you have to get the book to get the rest.
Okay.
All right. Now, Princess Diana, let me rewind a little bit.
And I don't have anything against her, but I do want to know why.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Okay.
When I first was writing the book, right, I told my sister, her name is also Darlene. I asked my sister, hey, who you think I should put on the book? Like, I got 6 queens that's on the cover. Who else do you think that I should put on there? Because I said I had six black queens. She was like, don't put all black women, you know. Black people don't read as much as white people do. That's what she told me. And I was thinking, like, you may have a point there. And she's like, well, you don't just want black people buying the book. You want other races and cultures to read the book. And if you have all black women on there, then other women would feel excluded. I said, wow, so you got a point there. So I started thinking, like, what white women can I put on the book? And I started thinking, can't do Hillary Clinton. You know, she's the devil herself.
Yeah, if she was on the cover, I wouldn't have come.
And I started thinking of other white women that I could put on there. And I'm like, nah, that's not going to work. Who can I use? And I started thinking, and you know, I watched a lot of documentaries. And one day I'm flipping through, what was it, PBS or something like that, or National Geographic. I don't know, one of those channels. And I seen the story about Princess Diana. I said, man, she's the one. So before I even confirmed that idea, I did some research on her. And come to find out, she did some very amazing work in Ethiopia with the young girls there. And she actually walked through a landmine, you know, as a protest against having the landmines there. And so she was able to get, you know, even though she wasn't alive at the time, she died. But after her death, they removed all the landmines from that area. And so I had to give her props for that, you know what I mean? So that's why she was on the book.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, she did something for our sisters. I'm down with that.
Okay.
You know, and when I went to London, actually the book took me all the way to London. There was a woman.
Because of her?
No, because of the book.
Okay.
Because of the book. A woman read the book. She ordered it. Like I think she found me on Twitter, possibly Facebook, but I think it was Twitter. She read it. She ordered the book. She read it. She called me and asked me, hey, if I'm able. First, she emailed me. Then I gave her my number. She asked me if I'm able to set up a book tour in London. Would you come? I said, of course I'll come. She said, okay, I'm going to contact with this other author. I see you reference him in the book. His name is T.C. Carrier. He wrote a book called, a few books, but the one that I referenced in this book is called The Secret Science of Black Male and Female Sex. Very powerful book. A lot of the things I already heard about, but he expanded on a lot of the points on the feminine and masculine energy, which is the emphasis of this book is having the balance in our homes. Because in our homes today is overwhelmingly overpowered by women, the feminine energy, because the male is not there, whether it's dead, prison, or in the streets, whatever the case may be. They're just not there. And we can look outside these, this glass, and we see some people walking by, especially the young ones. They're pants sagging, the homosexuality, the lesbianism that's going on. It's crazy, especially here in the city of Atlanta. It's because of that imbalance in the home. That's what the Ankh symbol represents. Well, this is small, but the Ankh symbol represents, the male, the key of life, the male. Let me do this. The male, phallus, and his arms is holding up, the woman. That circle part represents the womb of a woman, and so it's a perfect balance, and that's why many people resonate well with the Ankh symbol. And while I have this up, I'm gonna explain you guys a quick story. When I was doing this painting actually comes from my uncle's house in Miami. And one day I was at his house, and he has two of these paintings. He has this one, as you can agree, is very beautiful. And it's actually in my living room. So he had two of these. He had one like this one, which was this one, and another one with, it was two women, two queens, and a pharaoh. What she's doing right now, she's crowning him king, which is also spoken about in my book. There's 3 ways to crown the king. I didn't know about the necklace part, but the kind of like a collar, that's a ritual of crowning a man king. As a matter of fact, a man can't become king unless he's crowned by a queen. You guys know that?
No.
In African culture, especially in
He
times
can't become king
until a woman crown him a king.
and she has to be a queen.
She has to be a queen. Her lap is actually the throne. In African culture, in antiquity, I can't say how many cultures still practice that today, but in Kemet, which is ancient Egypt, that was the way it was, because they understood the importance of a woman. A lot of women don't know how special and important they are. Truth be told, they just don't know, and you leave it to social media or whatever, or music. You know what I'm saying? It's all about calling women, you know what they call them. So. But anyway, as I was, he had these on his wall, and I was like, man, these are some nice paintings. And he said, well, when you come back, you can have one for your birthday. As a matter of fact, my birthday was coming around the corner at the time. So I said, okay. So I came back, and I started describing to him what the paintings, what it represented, at least some of the symbols, like, the crown, as I explained earlier. Both of them have the cobra, which represents wisdom as well. It's not something evil. Ankh, the Sakara beetle, which is something evolving around the sun rising, because the Sakara beetle. Am I saying that right? Sakara beetle. Am I saying that right? Steve know everything. Steve, am I saying that right? Yeah. But it's a special beetle.
The scarab.
Scarab beetle, right?
Scarab beetle.
And so what they actually do is they roll dung. They roll dung up, and put their babies in it, to hatch. And so the ancient Kemetans, they reverence that symbolism. Also, the crown. What else am I forgetting here? But anyway, I don't know everything about this, but I know this is she's crowning him king. And as I was explaining to him and my cousins, the stories and what the different symbols of the painting was, a black cat walked across my leg, right? So I'm like, Basset. And so those who don't know who Basset is an African goddess that was represented by the black cat. They reverence cats, because of that reason. Because cats can actually see spirits. So a lot of people who practice different rituals, especially practice voodoo, they have cats because cats can see the spirits. My grandma had a extremely smart cat, back in the day. But anyway, we are taught the black cat is bad luck. When in actuality, the black cats are good luck. And so that's something to think about. In the soft cover books of the Seven Queens, I was actually going to only put the Black Cat Theory, which is a chapter that I wrote about what I just explained to you guys, what the Black Cat represents. It's called the Black Cat Theory. It was only going to go in the hardcovers. But, as you mentioned earlier, a lot of people are not going to buy a book that's costs $28. So I said, you know what? People got to know this. So what I did was I put in both the hardcover and the soft cover as a bonus chapter. So you definitely want to check that out. And besides that,
Can I say something about the
please do.
queen crowning the king?
Yes, sir.
So I was just in Ghana, and we went to I think it was the Ashanti region, went to the castle there, and they said the queen anoints the king. And the reason is, they said, because the chicks follow the hen. So that was interesting. Yeah.
The
The
chicks
So that's
babies
how they get
follow
that
the
from.
mother, so.
Yeah, they follow the mother. So the mother and the king in the Ashanti region, he's anointed by the queen, and they're not married, because this is just a woman that's a queen, and then she anoints who the king is. So they're not in an intimate relationship. So he may have his wife, but his wife is not the queen. There's another separate
like
queen,
this.
and they both rule.
Okay.
They wouldn't let us take no pictures,
That's all.
but I would have had some pictures.
Now, that's a definitely. I haven't heard of that, but it makes a lot of sense. It definitely makes a lot of sense. And as a matter of fact, back in ancient times, the kings or rulers, maybe it wasn't a king, but they were rulers. They would go after queens from the Kush, which is Ethiopia today, right? Why is that? Because these women had the gifts of clairvoyancy. You know,
what?
clairvoyancy. They're able to see into the future.
Okay.
Right, so they will pick, kings will travel wherever to find them a black queen from that region. At the time, I believe that whole northeast region of Africa was considered, I want to say Sudan, but I can't really think of it right now, but that whole region used to be one part until they divided it into Sudan, Egypt, and what we have now, Ethiopia. As a matter of fact, one way you can tell that black women were reverenced heavily back in those times, which a lot of people don't want to believe today, because how can a black woman be considered God? That whole that saying, black woman is God, comes from the whole black cat, the Baseti. Baseti, and there's another woman that was worshipped. Her name wasn't Hadar, but can't think of it right now. But it'll come to me. But you have Baseti and the original Trinity, which is Aset, Asar, and Haru, which is mother, father, and child. In the Bible, it's called Mother, Son, and the Holy Ghost. So the woman is completely taken out of that whole equation. So you ask yourself, why is that? But you have to read my book to find that out. And am I forgetting anything else other than Seven Queens? I can go on and on about Seven Queens, but it's definitely a powerful book. Yes, ma'am.
Who are the other three women on the cover up top?
Represent different cultures. This woman here represents the Asian culture, so I go into some of their traditions. Another African woman just representing a black beautiful woman, just had to do it, and she's representing the indigenous red people, we call Native Americans. So pretty much have like the whole world like right here, and when my sister said black people don't read, which is, we don't read enough. I definitely say that, but obviously we read. I mean, I'm an author. But having a nice mix of people was a great idea, I think, because it emphasizes the black women were, the most powerful. They still are. They just don't know it. And we'll never be in our right state of mind unless our women are right. So that's why I started with Seven Queens, because once you have our women right, then the men will be right as well, because women, especially black women, you are the source of everything, source of our wisdom, source of our motivation. You need some ideas. You give birth to our children. I wouldn't be alive, you wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for your mom. So a lot of these, we allow society to, dumb down the essence or the power of our black queens. Thanks to these reality TV shows, Atlanta is probably the home of, majority of these reality TV shows that's degrading black women. I want you guys to take pictures with this camera. You can. Just don't drop that. Doesn't have a case on it. So, so this book, it really emphasizes and should make women feel better about themselves, especially our black women. So it's a perfect book for women that are in the teens, young adults, and even as young as you are. You learn quite a bit. Trust me, you learn quite a bit. I'm very proud of this book. As a matter of fact, when I read it, even now when I read it, I can't believe that I wrote it. I'm like, did I really write that? Like, what was I thinking? Because this book was very much written spiritually. So a lot of things that'll cross my spirit, I write it down and I researched it, did a lot of research. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't be right. You guys ever heard of Dr. Boroshenko?
Yeah.
Ashimuka Boroshenko, big influence on his book. He died some years ago. I believe he died in 2005, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that. But he wrote a book, several books, but he wrote a book called The African Woman, Original Guardian Angel. Very powerful book. That was actually the motivation behind the direction that I was going, because originally I was just going to talk about relationships, but then I realized that, looking at the state of our women in our families and our communities, and just the relationships and not having enough quality marriages or marriages at all in our community, I feel as if that I need to take this book more seriously than just dating, just to make money. So the book wasn't really geared to just make money, even though I do plan on selling 40 million copies. The world needs this book. They just don't know it yet. You know what I'm saying? But they will in due time. I'm actually working on 7 Kings right now. That won't be ready until 2021. I'm going to put the same amount of effort in research and praying and just traveling. And also, which I forgot to mention, with this book, I interviewed several happily married men on what made them choose their wife to be the queen. So some of their
And we have
inputs.
to wait until 2021, I think?
No, for this one,
No.
for the queens. Now, with the kings, I'm interviewing married women.
So what did the men say? Why did they choose?
Of course, definitely support. A lot of them, most of them said that the fact that their women prayed for them a lot at the times when they were down and out. In fact, I'm happy to say they all are still married. So, mind you, I said happily married. I didn't just say married. Yes.
So who's going to be on the cover of the
The Kings, I'm not sure what direction I'm going with that, but I did speak with Brother Steve. We're working on something in regards to 7 Kings. So as far as the design of the cover, but definitely with the way our young black boys are going, who are leading the suicide rates, by the way, we're definitely gonna, definitely has to get that book out there. I expect to get a lot of churches and community centers reaching out to me once that book is published. So look out for that 2021. And the next book is The Wind in the Mirror. That book is actually it's finished but not printed. So I know someone pre-ordered it in here, and a couple people pre-ordered it, but it's not ready to be. It's going to be released in March, which is next month. But it is done. It's just I didn't want to rush it to get it printed. But the Wind in the Mirror, Activating Your Superpowers, Mind, Body, and Spirit, is going to be a very dope book. Yep. It's just the book cover. Where did I put the book cover? It's back here somewhere. It's back there somewhere. But it has like the mirrors. Y'all see me a favor? There's in the box back there. There's a book back there on a stack of books, the bigger box. So the book is pretty much helping people that are struggling with confidence. What made me start writing that one was the fact that so many of our young ones committed suicide. Just December, right before the New Year's, a friend of mine, she lives in Georgia now. She has a nephew who's 17 years old, full scholarship to Georgia Tech University, and he jumped in front of the train to kill himself. So a lot of times people are suffering from mental illness. This is what the book would look like. It has the mirrors. I'm very excited about it, but it's really to cause people to look at themselves and understand that God just isn't a God that's somewhere far and distant. God is in us. That we have powers. We don't have to beg and plead for promotions. We can promote ourselves. So it has little simple steps to actually, how do you move forward? People ask me all the time, how did you write these books? How did you produce this film? How did you do the stage play? One, as I mentioned earlier, you write your dreams down, repeat them to yourself, you increase your chances by 1,000%. If I would have known that when I was in high school or middle school, I would have been rich. I'm just coming across the information now, so it's my duty to share with the world. And I want you guys to do something before I forget. It's called SBE, so you guys can repeat after me. So so you guys ready? Mm-hmm. All right. So speak it.
Speak it.
Now, when I say that, when you say it, you have to give a certain kind of energy behind your words. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So speak it,
Speak it.
believe it,
Believe it.
execute the plan.
Execute the plan.
All right, so we're going to try it again. Speak it,
Speak it.
believe it,
Believe it.
execute the plan.
Execute the
All
plan.
right, now, what does that mean? Speak it. Speak your goals. Why not speak your goals, right? Because when you speak your goals, you actually, you're creating the world around you, you know. And it's funny, I read a research, I wish I remember the name of the company that produced this research, and I've seen it several times in other books as well. But this one research was saying that our environment literally creates the way our brains are shaped and developed. Matter of fact, Dr. Amos Wilson was saying in his book, it's called Black on Black Violence, Black Self-Annihilation in Service of White Domination. That's the title of his book. I kid you not, it's that long, but the book is powerful. You know, he was a psychologist, and he was saying that, and not just him, several others, but when you actually, the words you speak actually dictates the world around you, like you literally shape the world around you. So if I'm speaking about my book, guess what? I'm shaping that book from the spiritual realm into the physical realm. So if I'm listening to music about, you know, robbing and killing and doing this and that, that's what I'm going to actually go and do. If I'm going to become rich selling, I don't know, African artifacts, then that's what I'm going to do. So be careful of the words you use, especially as a woman, because you are literally walking goddesses. Just like as a man is a god, the woman is a goddesses. And also with the Winning the Mirror, activating your superpowers, mind, body, and spirit, it's a book to enrich your life, you know, to enrich those who are around you. You're going to be a changed person. In this world, a lot of times, we are discouraged to go after our dreams and goals. As a little child, I'm sure you guys had many dreams and goals as a young one, right? And we believed when we were that young that this is going to happen, this is possible. And guess what? Over time, when you grow up, reality hits, and now you're going to start saying to yourself, oh, I can't be a doctor, I can't do that, or I can't be this fireman, I can't build this house because I don't have this money, or I don't have this support, I don't have this education. So the world literally takes away your confidence. But once you realize that if you speak your goals to yourself, if you write them down, and you start, you know, doing the things you need to do to actually utilize your brain, your subconscious and conscious mind, you can create and manifest everything you think of. Any and everything, whether it's positive or negative. Hopefully you think more positive things. And so that's what I emphasize in The Winning the Mirror. I'm very excited about the book. It may be the one that gets me on Oprah. Maybe not. I don't know. But no, maybe not. This is the one that's going to get me on Oprah.
The book club again.
That's fine. She's going to holler at me. Trust me. This is the one, The Winning the Mirror. So, and it's funny because if you'd have seen the book cover before this one, then you'd have been like, nah, that's not going to work. But because what I had originally was, it was a chicken, a baby chick, looking into a mirror and seeing an eagle. You know, and the reason why I moved here to Atlanta, you know, I felt like in Florida that, you know, caged eagles can't fly. I just feel like I couldn't fly in Florida. I needed to branch out and get wings. Obviously, I told you, I was in London. Matter of fact, I was in London twice. For my book tour one, I went earlier this year for my job. I was there for a couple of weeks in Denmark and London. And so, you know, being around people that believes in you helps you spread your wings. And a lot of us, you know, we walk around like this, like penguins, you know, when we should be flapping our wings and flying and seeing and doing better things. So that's pretty much the book in a nutshell. And yeah, let's do it. So that's pretty much the conclusion of this book signing. I definitely appreciate your support and being here, listening to me talk about, you know, my work, and I'm so glad and thankful. And oh yeah, would you doing the sign-ups? We were supposed to do the sign-ins when they came in, but we'll do that as a little later. Or actually, I guess we could do it now.
I didn't know if y'all were signing up or not, so I just.
I'm glad you did that. Thank you. So we're gonna use your list. Thank you, Ms. Abnika.
If you have one,
It's all good. So anyway, thank you all. Give yourself a round of applause.
This was wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we could begin signing the books. You guys want to purchase one, or just want to take a picture, or just say hi, or get a hug. I mean, it's all good. I'm a rich man, so.
oh, riches?
And
I
blessed.
have something for you.
King.